ni ọba tí ń gbẹ́kú ẹni lódìndín. Ṣé bí wà ló fọ̀rọ̀ dálé ayé o? Kábíyèsí rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ló ṣe ni, iṣẹ́ ló ṣe ni, iṣẹ́ ló ṣe ni ọba mi àfìrí gbọ̀ngbọ̀n.
Orí adé tọmọdé tàgbà ní dáríjọ tí bọ̀gún àràbà bó bá ti di lọ́dọọdún. Ayé àmọ́ dáríjọ wá pínrẹ fún yín ní orí adé ó bàbá mi àgbógbógbó fèwú sókè kò sí ohun tí ó sọ bá ẹ ní kú mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. Àwa máa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba wa ni o. Àwa máa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba wa ni. Àwa máa forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba wa ni o. Àwa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba wa ni ẹ̀yin lẹ́mọ̀ bọ́ba yín ò jọ yín lójú. Àwa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba ni ẹ̀yin lẹ́mọ̀ bọ́ba yín ò jọ yín lójú. Àwa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba ni ẹ̀yin lẹ́mọ̀ bọ́ba yín ò jọ yín lójú. Àwa ń forí balẹ̀ fọ́ba ni. Kábíyèsí o.
Dàbí rẹ̀, ta ló dàbí rẹ̀, nínú gbogbo alágbára ayé. Ta ló dàbí rẹ̀, Olúwa, ta ló dàbí rẹ̀. Dàbí rẹ̀, ta ló dàbí rẹ̀, nínú gbogbo alágbára ayé. Ta ló dàbí rẹ̀, Olúwa, ta ló dàbí rẹ̀.
Friend of yours said recently that last week, I guess, that anybody who cannot see any of his achievements needs a pair of eyeglasses. What do you have to say to that?
You see, I don't like what I want them to do with his age. Let him not, when I say president now, they said, let all those his aides, all those jobless people without character, who are talking because of their stomach, let them go to Karimu markets Let them go to Zuba. Let them go to Guagua. Let them go to all those markets to use mic. The economy of Nigeria is best. Let us clap for our president, President Tinubu. Just to go around the market now. Don't want you sitting in the television using Zoom. So I hear them say because you can pay for airtime, because you have a right to get social media this to carry what you are saying. Why are you telling us, sir? Why are you telling us? Why are you telling your children that there is food in the house? Their children will know that there is food. You don't need to say it. Mr. President, I am begging you, sir. Recruit, don't go with security. Recruit your media, your SAs. Let them go to, I did not say that you should go to other states, to start from Abuja here. Go to Zuba. Go to Kubwa Market. Go to other suburbs. Go, just go. Don't go with any police. I hear them saying, don't go with any police. I hear them saying, you can see that they will buy yam. They will even give you foul. They will even spray this thing. Just go, Mr. President. Go and tell them that the economy is anybody who is not seeing it. Why are you disturbing our life? So I don't want to go into that. I've given them assignments. And the two, allow this election to be free and fair. Stop using all these people to be killing other political positions, so that people will clap for you. People will respond to you.
We'll come to that. But are you saying, Chief Maxwell,
this is the worst government I've ever seen. I'm over 50 years. 50 years of strong activism. You call them, Mr. President, my friend. These are one of the persons that we are looking at as a student. When I was a student in Nadeko, Professor CIA, Ganefa Emi, Femi Falana, Professor Edward Okroji, Comrade, Senior Comrade, Palamede, Tinubu. I can name them. These are the people that we are looking at. I can tell you, when I started knowing government, that was when Shagari was this. I can tell you the government that we have had. This is the worst. This is the worst.
But this government has unified the exchange rates. They've subsidized. They've removed crude oil fuel subsidy, and the states are getting so much money. So are you saying
he's only empowering criminals that call themselves state governors and what have you, members of the National Assembly, no, those criminals without conscience? That's the people that is socially empowering. Yesterday, 2 of my cars, 156,000 naira. 156,000 naira.
What?
Fuel.
Okay, to fill them up.
The 2 of my cars. 156,000 naira.
For both or for each?
For both of them.
For both of them.
I hear them saying 156,000 naira. Because I need to fuel them full so that I hear them saying, what is my income? A man with how many children? I you know what I'm saying? And you are telling me that you are doing well. Have you seen a country that run a government without removing fuel subsidy? Peter said that he will remove fuel subsidy. I think he said that he will remove fuel subsidy. We are not asking you to remove fuel subsidy. What we are asking is to remove the corruption in the fuel subsidy. You cannot rob us. You are empowering all those criminals. There are some states that, as our allocation is coming, you see all those grade change this coming to convert it in dollars. They shift it in their houses. People without conscience, pensioners are dying, local government workers are dying, FCT teachers, I don't know whether they have started, workers going on strike, and they are saying, I built a 4 coastal road. Who are those? Who cares? But somebody, this one it is, looted Abia for 24 years. Somebody came in less than 3 years. And
but the president and his team are saying they've stabilized the foreign exchange. It's about 1,300. No, hold on, that's one. Second, they brought down the rate of inflation. You know, they brought down unemployment. Our unemployment rate figures is about the same as UK or France, about 3 or 4%, because the Bureau of Statistics use a new methodology and all of that. Are those not?
You see this grammar you are saying?
Do you know?
Can you tell your grandmother or your mother in the village what he's talking about exchange rate? He has never heard that. You don't even know what they're talking about.
Inflation rate.
Or inflation rate. But what he's only telling you is that from your house in the village to market, where she normally pay 20 naira, that she's now paying 500 naira. That is what your mother is telling you in the village. Saying, please, if you are sending money again, that 10,000 you used to spend, please make it 50,000 naira. Because that place I normally go, they are now collecting 2,000 naira. And they are telling your mother exchange rate. And that's why I said, go now, go. Why are you telling us? You are telling me because you feel that I have seen dollar before, I have seen pounds before. Somebody who somebody who is selling a farmer, local farmer, who cannot go to the farm as a result of insecurity, and they are telling him exchange rate.
Which country has the worst president? Let me know in the comments down below.
Nigeria, Tinubu, Tinubu.
Africa again. When are we bringing back the next set of Ghanaians?
Yes, so as I have announced, the final batch of Ghanaians in South Africa have all now registered. We have a little above 600. Earlier, those who wrote their names was in the region of 800, but it's clear that we'll have to go beyond that. We now are exceeding 900, but thanks to the compassionate leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he has said that all Ghanaians in harm's way, in distress, who are being harassed, being dehumanized, we should not leave anyone behind. And our foreign policy is that of compassion, is that of leaving no Ghanaian behind. And so we are going to make sure that all Ghanaians are safely taken out of harm's way. And as I have said, once the safety and the dignity of any Ghanaian anywhere in the world is affronted, you can trust that the foreign ministry, the government of Ghana will come and assist you. We do not want anybody in this world thinking that Ghanaians are orphaned, Ghanaians don't have a government, Ghanaians are not valued, are not cherished, and so they can mess around with Ghanaians. We will not accept that, and we will go all out to protect Ghanaians and to make sure that the welfare of Ghanaians is safeguarded. So I can assure you that all is set for the next batch to arrive. We're just waiting for the South African authorities to finalize our request for the flight permits so that our chartered jets can move in and bring all the Ghanaians who have registered. And let me use this opportunity to say that contrary to a lot of disinformation, misinformation, and propaganda out there, the vast majority of Ghanaians we have registered, we've looked at their documentation. These are legal migrants. Disregard all those claims that these are people who are illegal migrants. It is not true at all. And we've challenged those who are making these claims to put out the evidence. They have not been able to put out any evidence. Let me also say that what is beautiful about the registration we are doing is that we do it in collaboration with the Department of Home Affairs, the South African authorities, who are there at our High Commission to check for people who they are looking for in their database, people who are wanted, suspected criminals. And so far, not a single Ghanaian is of interest to the South African authorities. So again, this claim by some propagandists, those who seek to tarnish the image of Ghana, that our citizens were lawbreakers, people who commit crime, and people who are contributing to insecurity and instability in South Africa. The evidence does not support it. You have the security officials there with their database, their computers, with their wanted list, checking fingerprints and all of that. And so far, not a single Ghanaian. So clearly, Ghana is not responsible for any high crime rates or any, avalanche of illegality going on in South Africa. Let me say that I am deeply proud as foreign minister, and I know President Mahama is also very, very proud of our nationals. Ghanaians everywhere they go are law-abiding. They are people who don't break laws. They are people who don't commit crime. They are people who don't foment trouble. And so they have to go and look for really those who they think are the cause of insecurity or whatever instability, even though we must all admit that even if you have concerns about insecurity, instability, high crime, this is not how you go about it. You don't use hatred, you don't take the law into your own hands and pursue people, violate their human rights. And here we are at an African foreign ministers gathering, and you've heard us talk about the foundation of the African Union, which is about free movement, which is about African integration, which is about increasing Africa trade. You heard the Director General of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, who, interestingly, is a South African, my very, very good friend, my comrade Wamkele, who I must commend is not been happy at all about all of what is going on in his home country, because really it is undermining his work. We want to increase intra-Africa trade, which has been below 20% for many, many years, and amongst the lowest. It's really the lowest if you look at all continents of the world. We want to trade amongst ourselves. We want to transform our economies. And the only way we can do that is to make sure that we are welcoming of each other. We promote trade. We believe in our products. We form partnerships. And we encourage African entrepreneurship, African ingenuity, African businesses to thrive. So everything that the African Union, the OAU, African integration, what the founder of Sajifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, spoke of, that Africa must unite. Unite now or we perish. This xenophobia going on, the sheer hatred for the fellow African, just because they have moved into your territory, undermines everything. It destroys everything. And it makes mockery of what the African Union stands for. And that is why Ghana strongly reaffirms our petition to the African Union, and we have been receiving a lot of support. A lot of foreign ministers who have spoken to me at this summit say that, look, Ghana, we are behind you. We support your petition. It is time for the African Union to discuss this matter, and we commend you for your leadership. So let us hope that lessons will be learned, and never again are we going to see an African take on another African violently with hatred. We should love one another. We should form partnerships. We should come together to achieve the dream of continental African unity. Therein lies our economic emancipation. Therein lies our salvation. Therein lies the opportunities which have eluded the African for many, many centuries.
Yeah, greetings everyone. I hope you can hear me. I don't know whether anyone can hear me there. Thank you all for joining me, all of you that are here so far. The idea is to give you a kind of breakdown on the events of the week. Quite a few things have occurred this week, and some of them are more significant than others. And then try to keep it brief because we're going to be having a show tomorrow evening. That's a live stream about, have your say, that people can come on and have their say. So, but I'm just going to be breaking down some of the news I feel like is worth talking about from our own context and from how we see it, how I see it actually. It's not how we see it because it's my own opinion really, and my opinion doesn't necessarily, and from what I've found, doesn't necessarily, gel with most people's opinion in Africa. So, but this will be more of a kind of analysis and take on, the events that have occurred around the world from my own perspective and our own perspective to an extent, because since I'm part of the hour, so it's our own perspective. So this is the Ghanaian, I think, foreign minister, and it seems to be, I like the idea that he is fighting for his people, so that his people can be taken care of from, South Africa. The Nigerian government was even asking our own citizens to pay to return back to Nigeria. I don't. What have we done to what is it with Nigerians? Our government to bring Nigerians back from South Africa. Literally, if there is a war zone, Nigerians are returning back. Our government will want us to pay to return. how are we like this? Because when we say our government, we are the ones but this Ghanaian guy, minister, let me not call him guy, the minister. So the way he's talking, you notice how he was trying to say that the guy and South Africa should look for the people that are causing the problem and all the rest of it. Because they know too that Ghana is also very xenophobic. Ghana is one of the most, is the most xenophobic country in West Africa. Say they should be looking for the people that are committing the crime. It's not Ghanaians. Ghanaians don't commit crime. Who told you that Ghanaians don't commit crime where they go? They do commit crime. They break laws where they go. In South Africa, they know them as people that tend to be involved in passport, kind of scam. So that is something that is a fact. Ghana itself is a peaceful country, and that's why when you go in there, you feel safe, which is a good thing. I really wish Nigeria could be made that safe. And that takes us to the points and stories about insecurity that is going on in the country. Nigeria has experienced quite a lot of insecurity lately due to the events that have been going on around the country, from kidnapping. So you guys could not hear me at all, and nobody bothered to warn me. Sorry about that. I don't know whether anybody heard anything I said all this while. It's like the viewership is going up as I remain quiet. I don't know, man. You guys hate me so much. It's all right. So the Ghanaian leader, foreign minister, he spoke well on behalf of Ghanaians, trying to defend the interests of his own people, bringing them back from South Africa. Also, trying to take the issue to the African Union. For the life of me, I don't know what Nigeria is doing. I don't know. Maybe Nigeria likes to play in the background, but Nigeria should be taking the lead in all these things. Our musicians are able to take the lead. Our actors are able to take the lead. Many Nigerian different areas are trying to take the lead, but our government, every time, they always lag behind. Even to bring Nigerians back from South Africa, they wanted the Nigerians to pay for their ticket to come back. So how much does it take for them to pay for Nigerians to come back? Let me play this video, because so you see how selfish our leaders are, how they behave with our own people. And this is why this government is very, very disliked. Now, let me play this video.
For the states where we don't have the presence of APC, but we have members of APC. So to all our women leaders, from the woman leader for Abia State, APC woman leader, APC woman leader for Anambra State, APC woman leader for Bauchi State, APC leader for Osun State, APC leader for Oyo State. Your vehicles will be ready before the end of the week. So I urge all our governors.
Can you imagine?
This is how we want our women to be treated. The vehicles are your personal vehicles.
Can you imagine?
You are not giving it to the party.
Can you imagine?
Can you hold on, please? You register the vehicles in your name.
Can you imagine? See where the loan is going to. All the loan, billion dollar of loan, these people are collecting. You can see where the loans are going to.
Let me finish. You register all these vehicles.
See where your loans. See where your loans are going to.
You have money to do that, which we won't talk about.
Can you imagine?
But register these vehicles in your name. And our beloved state governors, the APC governors, buy your women leaders vehicles.
Can you imagine?
We are not playing politics like before.
Can you imagine?
We are politicians, and people should see the value on us. So this is a blessed party, and we want
Supreme Leader Ayatollah's wife is talking. So Supreme Leader Ayatollah of Babylon wife is talking. Please. So you see, they are willing to share money amongst themselves, not because they don't have money, but to bring Nigerians that are in distress in a foreign land back home, they want them to pay for their transportation back. But they are sharing cars amongst themselves just for the sake of it. You see how depraved our leadership is. We have a depraved leadership that don't care about the people. It's just a total, this is part of the problem we are seeing here. And this is just a small section. And this is the women. What are the men doing? They are sharing money among themselves. Their people are being persecuted. And the same thing it happened in Sudan, and I think it was in Sudan. And they have to, according to somebody here, it's true, because they keep waiting for airpeace to come and airlift them. So airpeace should go and save them again for that one. And the federal government doesn't want to spend money for the Nigerian citizens. What have the people done to this? What is it that with us? Why do we think like this? What is it with Nigerians? You can't even care for your people. Look at Ghanaians. They are just proud, peacocking everywhere, trying to get their people back from this in South Africa. We are not going to let you treat our people like that. That's a tiny country. Look at how Ghana, he had what he said now. Ghana is taking leadership role in Africa. And Nigeria just sits there watching aside like we are asleep. For the life of me, I don't know what kind of leadership we have. Even to pretend, they don't even pretend that I see they are doing anything. They just leave their people to flounder. Is now they've said that they are going to look to try to bring them back from South Africa, that they want to bring back 1,000. I don't know whether those 1,000 are going to be brought back for free or whether they are going to pay for it. What then? Now let's go to another area where our people are losing their lives constantly, and the Nigerian government, to react to deal with it, is very, very sluggish to deal with Nigerian issues. It's like you have to beg them to deal with Nigerian issues. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video just to welcome Nigerians in and the viewers in, so that they can settle in. I'll play the old national anthem, because I do enjoy the way they make the song. So I'll play it, and then we'll come back again and talk about some of the tragedies that has occurred. My mouth sometimes. Some of the tragedies that has occurred in the southwest and some part of Nigeria, this week and the last week, due to insecurity, people that have been suffering due to all these, soldiers targeted recently. I think just last night or 2 days ago, they were targeted. Sad news, and people are losing their lives. And but of course, they are going to be sharing rice. The people who should be sharing cars to, they are going to be sharing cars. The people who should be sharing cars to are the wives of those widows. That's the people you should be sharing the cars to. You give the wife of those widows that have lost their husband defending your country. But of course, it's APC. It's all about APC for these people. All of them wearing goggles indoors. Forget it. Let me play this song so that we can get on with the next phase. Yeah, thank you, thank you. So I just finished playing the national anthem like I always do. I do enjoy it, that rendition of the song. So we are going to be going to the news about the tragedies that occurred during the week. So one of them includes, let me play this one, African, which one is this one?
So this man right here.
Let's not deal with this one for that one. That one is a naughty guy. All right, let's play this one. So this one is about the kidnapped victims in the Southwest that occurred some time ago, and I thought I should cover them again now because this issue has not necessarily been, dealt with properly. And it's quite a sad tale because watching, women suffering because they've lost their children, I can't even start imagining how that feels. I really can't imagine how that feels. We as Nigerians, for some reason, we've gotten acclimatized to this type of stuff happening to us. And it really shouldn't be like this. It really shouldn't be like this. There's no reason why it should be like this. So let me just play what this news has got to say about the kidnapped, victims' family member.
For more than 2 weeks, Aduke Balogun has prayed for her daughter's safe return.
If you cannot hear it, let me know.
She says it was mid-morning when she saw a masked man walking towards the school. Gunfire erupted soon after, and in the chaos, 8-year-old Kosarat was seized and spirited into the bush in southwest Nigeria's Oyo state. She was one of more than 30 students and a teacher kidnapped that day.
Please, I am begging the government. We want our children back, alive.
The day Balogun's daughter was taken, there were simultaneous attacks on 2 other schools nearby. At the LA primary school, 3 miles away, one teacher was shot dead as he tried to escape through a classroom window, said Lamidi Wahid, a teacher in the school.
If the government do not take action on that area pertaining to the security, I don't think that I can particularly say that nobody will be willing to live in that area again.
The kidnappings have jolted a region long seen as relatively safe compared to more unstable regions further north, and fueled fears that kidnapping for ransom gangs are expanding their operations far beyond traditional hotspots. Oyalinka Ayanlade, the police spokesperson for Oyo State, said authorities hope to resolve the kidnappings peacefully.
There's communication, and communication is progressing. Well, I will tell you that we are not sparing any effort.
Widespread kidnappings and the ever-expanding presence.
What does it mean by they are trying to resolve it peacefully? So you're going to take them and rehabilitate the kidnappers, is that it? Okay, let's carry on.
Of armed groups across the country are likely to be key issues in the run-up to Nigeria's next national elections in January. No group has claimed responsibility for the Oyo attacks, but the military has blamed Boko Haram Islamist militants, which usually operate in the northeast. Balogun cannot bear to watch the videos of abducted children that are circulating. She says, "All I want is my daughter."
About technical issues. Yeah, all she wants is her daughter back, and I don't know whether that is a sin anymore in Nigeria, because based on the polling, people feel like the insecurity has gotten worse, and about 3 generals have been taken already. We've lost at least 2 of them, generals, gone, and 1 has been kidnapped last week, and children, women taken, begging for their lives. And this is one of the reasons why this current president is heavily disliked and hated. And the idea that some people think amongst all this, that it's okay to sell the president as being popular. It's like, I don't understand the reasoning behind it. How can one person be responsible for splitting the landmass of ECOWAS in half and half to your GDP? Increase the suffering of double the suffering of your people. And some people still pretend and say, oh, no, he's been doing very well. And that's just 3 years. And that is after Dangote refinery came and started doing some serious value-added manufacturing in Nigeria. And giving Nigerians a little bit of breathing space to have petroleum without scarcity. Do you guys remember how Nigerians used to suffer for petroleum before? This president didn't have that problem to worry about. And even then, his government tried to sabotage Dangote refinery. They will say they didn't try to do it too, but they did. They were supposed to give Dangote some crude oil, but they didn't do that. They were supposed to pay some money, they didn't do that. Not because they cannot get money, because they borrowed a lot of money during that same time, they didn't do that. As a matter of fact, this government spent almost $8 billion last year defending the Naira. Way more than Dangote required for Nigeria to have 20% stake in the crude, that's the refinery of Dangote. And at the same time, in other words, providing Dangote some money, or at least so that Dangote doesn't have to go and buy crude oil overseas. Dangote has to do that now. And then his own minister, Kyari, comes out and try to badmouth Dangote refinery. In some countries, that alone is a massive scandal. But in Nigeria, it's normal. It's normal. Because the state sabotaging the people and making the people feel worthless is normal in Nigeria. That's why they don't care about going to rescue Nigerians from South Africa. This is not the first time South Africa has been doing this. But this is the first time they actually targeted proper Ghanaians, and the Ghanaians responded. This is what we do. We don't value our own people. All we care about is we do and support nonsense. I literally, I'm sitting on panels where people are supporting rigging. I'm sitting on panels where people are fine with corruption. Because all they care about is because it's their person that is corrupt. As if it's not going to come around again. Tomorrow is another side that's going to be in office. The corruption will come back to you. This stupid game we play, senseless, grown men playing stupid games that doesn't lead us anywhere. But that said, that is the lady. Let me play this video of somewhere in the southeast. People, I think it's in Enugu. So let me play the video.
We're in a Menogu Junction now. Feel an enhancement just killed some of the villagers and brought their corpse in the road. And some of the villagers are doing riots. They have blocked all the road, both left and the right. The army people is trying to stop them, you know. That there is no movement. We are in Ogu Junction. We are going back to Aba from Enugu. I don't know what is going on. That is the case. That is the point. Mama, what in a good woman? I better do. One
So that's an incident that occurred in the southeast. So insecurity now from these terrorist groups seems to be moving further south. just like it's moved towards the southwest. Of course, people like Kulata, even if the whole Oyo is completely burnt down, they will still be singing Jagaban. Jagaban, Jagaban is the man. Because they don't have common sense. Even if the whole Oyo is brought to the ground, they will still be singing Jagaban. They don't sense, they've taken their senses and just buried it until Jagaban leaves office. Maybe then their eyes will clear. So let's go to the next one. I think this one is about, you see, it's not only Nigeria this is affected. This problem that we have in Africa is not only Nigeria is affecting. You can see that even in Kenya, the Kenyan president went and supported the Americans to bring people that have caught Ebola, American citizens that have caught Ebola from all parts of the world to come to Kenya. Hey God, our people. Hi. So the West don't have this thing, but I'll play the video. Let me play the video. The West doesn't have hospitals anymore. It's only Kenya. That's where it should be.
That's what Mr. William Ruto said.
Ruto, this is just directed to you. A very turbulent time in East Africa in light of the outbreak of Ebola. And obviously, we've seen quite a number of reports coming out from Kenya with this establishment of the quarantine facility for the US citizens. I mean, obviously, the backlash that we've seen from Kenya, just your immediate reaction in light of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaya. President Ruto will take that question, and President Ramaphosa will close off with the second question from earlier on. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Ebola is a pandemic that is not confined to one place. And just for context, there has not been a single reported incident of Ebola in Kenya. Just for context.
Yes.
So the big debate is going on, but that is the correct position. Number two, the Ebola situation in Eastern DRC is a source of concern for any country, including Kenya, that is mindful of matters health of its citizens.
This is DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. This is where Ebola is happening right now. It's not the first time, it has happened multiple times. And you know, Ebola is a very dangerous disease. It's an infectious viral disease where you start bleeding from everywhere. You bleed from the nose, you bleed from the mouth, you bleed from the ears, from all holes that you have gonna bleed to your death. Now, Ebola is very, very violent, okay, as a disease. And the transmission is very, very quick.
And the responsible thing to do when there is reports of such high-level infectious outbreak in a region where we have thousands of citizens, Kenyan citizens in DRC. We have soldiers in DRC. The most responsible thing to do is to prepare for any eventuality. And that is what Kenya has done. We have prepared ourselves adequately. We have taken command of all our entry points. We are doing testing of every person coming into Kenya from anywhere near that region. We are testing close to between 2,000 and 3,000 people from all our entry points every day. We have mobilized resources, testing kits, reagents, and all manner of people. We have trained thousands of staff, health staff, to be able to handle that situation. We have now isolation facilities, 23 of them across the country, in different parts of the country. And one of the facilities that has now raised a bit of controversy is the facility we agreed to set up in conjunction with the Americans in one of our military air bases.
So what is Kenya getting out of this? We need to understand. The Kenyan people have opposed this absolutely crazy.
Why would you create a facility within my country and it doesn't serve me? Yet the same facility is going to host people who are endangering my own life. Yet if I end up...
See, if this was Nigeria, the Nigerians won't say anything because the Mumu Jagaban people have shut people up. They won't let Nigerians talk. Do you know the Nigerian government has given our information to American government now through the health MOU they went aside with American government. Did Nigerians talk? No. They shut people up. Like Nigeria now is a country that is anti-intellectual, anti-common sense, and anti-culture. They completely shut you down and leave the Jagaban to keep doing what he's doing. Nobody questions what they do. Now he has taken our tax information, gave it to the French, and health information, gave it to the Americans. And that health information MOU, the Kenyans rejected it. Even Ghana managed to reject it. Ghana that is inside the backside of America still rejected it. But Nigeria, would they say anything? You will see all these bigots walk around. All they care about is tribe. My tribe man is in office. That's all I care. They will walk around and be praising him like he hasn't done. It's crazy. We are living in a parallel universe. Literally, Nigerians, they have put Nigerians in a parallel universe, a country that has been responsible for ECOWAS having in landmass, that has half the GDP, that has had its health records given to foreigners, and has military attacks in Nigeria from a foreign country, then bring the foreign soldiers into the country to come and fight, help them fight. No, what this government has done, oh my God. There are so many countries, if they try it in this African country, they will go crazy. But Nigeria is just like a dead animal, just there, not doing anything. The only thing that is keeping us alive now is Dangote. Without Dangote refinery, if you think this government is unpopular now, oh my God, I don't think he will be able to walk the streets. No, he can't even walk the streets. He doesn't walk the streets. He has the longest motorcade in the world. What is this? Do you know President Tinubu has the longest motorcade in the world? If he wants to go around, very, very long, maybe even longer than North Korean leader. What is this? But you see people justifying it, like it's okay. It's like we are living in a parallel world. Even Kenyans are more alive than we are. The Ghanaians are more alive than we are. South Africans are more alive. We can't seem to do anything. Everything is tightly controlled in Nigeria. So with all this control that they are controlling people and oppressing people, as a matter of fact, Erofai is in jail right now. But terrorists are running free. Terrorists are busy doing whatever they like inside the country. From every corner, they are running around. The only one thing this government did better than Buhari was to try to recruit a little bit more than Buhari was recruiting about 6,000 soldiers every 6 months. This government opted to around 28,000. And the only reason why they did that, guess what? Because American government threatened Nigeria. Last November, that's when they increased it. Why are our people like this? After Trump threatened Nigeria, that's when President Tinubu decided that he's going to recruit more soldiers. The reason why it's 28,000, they just wanted to recruit about 8,000, then they increased it by 20,000. That's the reason. Then 30,000 police officers. Why does it have to take a foreign leader to threaten your country with attack before you decide that you want to recruit? That's the only one thing he did better than Buhari. Everything that Buhari seems to have had, okay, in terms of foreign exchange, Buhari, even with his inept management of the foreign exchange that he allowed people to be round tripping, is still better than this one. This one, even with Dangote around, they are still defending the Naira. Of course, people like his sycophants will be like, oh no, it's all right. He's not defending the naira. He's just what do they call it? Intervention. That's what they call it. Billions of dollars in intervention. It's like we have taken our brain and flushed it inside the toilet, let it go away. Look at Kenyans. Kenyans are alive. They are challenging their government when their government is misbehaving with their rights, with their lives. And Kenya is not doing that well. They are not exactly at the top of the world. Neither is Ghana. If you look at what they have, Nigeria has it, but it's like since this government came into power, the rights of Nigerians have almost completely been eroded. I don't know, maybe this is how it's always been, because some people say, but Obasanjo did something similar. But Obasanjo didn't have the GDP of Nigeria. Obasanjo didn't float the currency when even his CBN governor is not in office. Obasanjo didn't just on the spot just threw away the fuel subsidies. He didn't mismanage insecurity this way. Say whatever I like about Obasanjo. This is why now it's almost as if Nigeria keeps having worse and worse and worse presidents. I think, was it not somebody that said that every time a new government comes to Nigeria, they make things worse? But you have to argue that in the case of Jonathan and Yar'Adua, when Yar'Adua came into the country, he did try to make things slightly better. He did try. As a matter of fact, that was when Nigeria's GDP went over $500 billion. This government came into office promising Nigerians that they're going to hit $500 billion GDP in no time. Then they went immediately and reduced our GDP from $477 billion to $180-something billion. Immediately. Now we have crawled back our way back to $200-something billion. But his sycophants will always say, great leader, great leader. Maybe it's Chairman Mao now, the great leader. The great leader is the name. Your first lady is sharing cars to APC women. When your government is telling our people to pay their own transportation back from a country where they are being persecuted. Wow, Nigerians. Where is our foreign minister? I hardly see her. Why is it that everything we do is under cloak and dagger? I can respect the fact that maybe there's something they may be doing behind the scenes that might make a difference, but I don't see any difference. Nigerians are still being terrorized. As a matter of fact, given the fact that the Nigerian government now has decided that they are going to bring Nigerian citizens back, about 1,000 Nigerian citizens back to Nigeria, that tells you that they don't have any good plan. They never did. In other words, the Ghanaian president responded faster than the Nigerian government. Way faster. It's like an afterthought. The Ghanaians have already returned back home, and Nigerians are still awaiting a flight to go back home. Even if Nigerians have been the subject of attack multiple times. Ghanaians, this is the first time. Nigerians have been subject of attack in South Africa on multiple occasions. So by now we should be ready and used to it. But our government, they are also the last to respond. As a matter of fact, Ethiopia, all of the other countries are already asking them able to come back home. Why do we treat our people like this? When we are allowing our people's lives to get lost, even inside Nigeria, why won't we let them get lost overseas? You see that? In a way, it's very, 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 how do I describe it? They are being coherent here. This is not, it's not contradictory behavior. They are allowing their people to be slaughtered in Nigeria. What is the difference doing it overseas? It's no different for them. Why do we not feel anything? Why do we not feel outraged that this is going on against our own people inside Nigeria and outside Nigeria? Do Nigerian lives not mean anything to any of us? Because let me tell you this. If you think Nigerian life don't mean anything, believe in me, it's also you. I saw a video of a Nigerian recently that went to Ethiopia. Had good experience while he was in Ethiopia, but when he got to the airport, he had a horrible experience. And the reason why he had the horrible experience because he had his Nigerian passport. Horrible, horrible experience. Nigerians are supposed to be some of the best people in this world. In terms of generosity, human beings, Nigerians they would go back, they would do everything they would try to help you. Nigerians do help each other, and they do help foreigners. And as a nation, Nigeria is the most selfless nation in the world. What a contradiction in the same entity and the same people. They have this attribute for the world, but they don't have it to save their own lives. They are some of the most hateful, bigoted people going. They can't see beyond a tribe or a religion or even a party. You are sharing cars. They were sharing cars, and that's the women. They were just sharing cars, and the men, all of them, they are all been blackmailed and cajoled to join one party. Because if they don't, they can barely function as governors. The truth is that Nigeria is not a proper democracy. It's a democracy in name, that's for sure. But the difference between this democracy that we have in Nigeria and that going on in Egypt, I'm not sure there's that much of a difference where that president gets more than 90% of the vote. There isn't that much difference. Just because our votes appear as if it's not completely rigged and, basically a dictatorship, doesn't mean that's not what is going on to an extent. It's a dictatorship of the elites that just want to grab money. But let's move on. The Kenyans, in a way, they are doing me proud to an extent, the way they are holding their leader accountable. And our leader barely talks to Nigerians. Oh my God, what have we done to deserve this? And some people wish this on us for the next 4 years. You don't even see your leader come and talk to you. They will just ignore the people and do whatever they like behind the scenes. Buhari stayed for 8 years, barely spoke to Nigerians. And now we have another one coming again. What kind of leadership is this? Why do we do this to ourselves? It's like we see one of the most important nations in the black continent. We take that nation and want to bury it. What is this? So for 16 straight years, we will have leaders that barely talk to the people. 16 straight years. Some people will be born and they will go to secondary school, about to join university, and their president barely talks to them. They've never seen one like that. What a sad state of affairs for a nation, for one of the most selfless, in short, the most selfless nation in the world. What has this nation done to deserve this? Inflict on themselves such a leadership. Let me carry on playing the video.
Catching Ebola, God forbid, I can't be taken care of.
Do Americans think that their lives are so much important than the lives of Kenyans, so that they establish a facility in Kenya that is meant for only Americans? If they must be allowed to open that facility here, then it must be a facility that serves every human being.
The people of Kenya have a voice. Look, there are some shithole countries in Africa, but Kenya is one special country. They don't play, okay? People of Kenya will get in the street and they will do havoc.
And why have we done that? We have a huge American military contingent in Kenya, number one. Number two, we have set up the 23 other isolation places in Kenya with the support of friends, among them the Americans, our own resources, but also with the support of Americans. The American government has supported us in this Ebola setup infrastructure, health infrastructure, to the tune of 1.8 billion Kenya shillings. And they did make a request to us to, in the process of setting up all the other facilities, to also set up one where they can use in the event that their citizens, their soldiers, some of them in Kenya or from elsewhere, if they are in a situation, then they can use that facility. For context again, even if the Americans had not set up that facility at the military base, if there was any American in Kenya, we would take them to a Kenyan facility. We would not throw them out, because the Constitution of Kenya tells us that we are responsible for the health of the citizens of Kenya, including those who are in Kenya at any one time.
Trump believes because Kenya is a friendly country, it's one of the best friends in Africa. They love and respect Kenya. Therefore, Kenya has to keep Americans who are infected with Ebola for the US. Now, I'm just wondering, I thought the US had a great partnership and friendship with Britain and France. Why don't they send those Americans infected with Ebola in France or Germany, but in Kenya?
So what you see as a debate in Kenya is lack of information. You know, people who may not have enough information to understand what we are doing. If we don't prepare and a situation occurs, we would have to answer much more difficult questions than the ones we are answering now. The questions we are answering now are simpler. They are easier. But if we were answering questions when people are sick and we haven't prepared enough, then we would be answering much more difficult questions. Where were you? What were you doing? What did you do? You knew there was a pandemic. You didn't do nothing. You know? What we are answering, the questions we are answering now is that we are prepared too much. And we are prepared for even our friends. And you see, I ask the people of my great country that the American people and government have been partners with us on matters health for close to 25, 30 years.
Now, why is Kenya accepting this? Number one, the US promised $13.3 million right away for Kenya health system. So you take 13 million, keep these Ebola infected people, just 13 million. 13 million is money for one person. $13 million. And how much is it in Kenyan shilling? Yes, it's money for one wealthy person. Now they want to tell Kenya, we're going to give you 13 million to keep the Ebola people. And that's going to help you with medicine, training, and border checks. 13 million, not even $100 million. So that's how they see you.
PEPFAR and all the other funds. American resources, American taxpayers' resources have been used to support Kenyan health infrastructure. It would be most unfortunate if on one request by the Americans to set up a facility at their cost, we would refuse. We would look very inhuman.
The USA has asked Kenya to keep American.
Can you believe that? He's saying that they are going to look inhuman if America asks them to take in COVID, this is Ebola patients. We are not talking about Ebola patients that are only in Kenya, also US Ebola patients from all over the world, that they should accept them in Kenya. Now, if they refuse, it's going to make them look bad. What? You see, our self-hate and inferiority complex is going to be our demise. Our fear is going to be our demise. Our blind, low IQ thinking is going to be our demise. because some of our people, they are in a way, as some say, beyond redemption. They are a goner. You know, I can see some of them in the chat. Some of them, their souls have been sold to the great beyond, and even in the next world, they are not going to be there. They're already gone, because to them, being tribalistic is more important. Being partisan is more important to them, and being money grabbing is more important than their people. They can't see that they are actually impoverishing themselves. That is what makes it retarded, isn't it? Because how can you think that is going to help you become rich? Can any of them compare themselves to Elon Musk now? Or even some of the few billionaires China has got? They can't. Because they are babies compared to that. And look at the only person that is doing very well in Nigeria is the most creative and the least. The person is not very partisan. It is not tribalistic, and is very, very focused on delivering value. And you say whatever I like about Dangote, that's the man. Oh. There's nobody in Nigeria that has been that productive in the way he approaches the society. He's not Western-minded in the sense that everything he does. As a matter of fact, I'm far more Western-minded than Dangote is. He does have Western friends, but I'm far more Western-minded than Dangote is. But the rest, people like Jagaban, oh my God, Jagaban will not be, by the time he puts his head down, he's already in France. It's like the moment he just falls down to sleep, he just shows up in France. That's how it works. It's like a genie it's a kind of genie magic. You know how the genie can just go inside the lamp. You know, if he wants to chill out, he goes. That's how Jagaban is. The moment he wants to lie down, it's in France. And the moment he stretches, is in England. That's all. He goes overseas all the time. He probably has spoken to Macron more than he has spoken to Nigerians. That is our lot. Let's face it, this is a poverty of leadership Nigeria has had. We are not only poor, we are not only poor financially, we are also poor in terms of leadership. Some countries they can have poor leadership, but they will still be, grinding on. Like America has poor leadership right now, but they are still grinding on. The UK has poor leadership, but they are still grinding on. But we've been having poor leadership for a very, very long time. When are we going to have an exceptional leader? Like you say, that guy stood out for the entire nation. When are we going to have one like that? Okay, so now I'll get back to some of this video that I was sharing before. And let's see, because when I tell you that these people that are governing us, they are such Ojoro people. They know what is going on in the country. They know the problem, but they pretend as if they don't know it. Let me play this video so you hear what Tinubu, one of the Tinubu supporters, is saying. I think his name is Jibrin. Let me play the video. Okay, it's coming up now.
Not accidental, it's deliberate. When he knew when he came on board that I will have to increase the military size, the police, everything, and rest the recruitments. And that is...
Do you hear what he said? He said Tinubu knew when he came into office, he has to increase the military size and stuff. Let me play it again so that people hear, because people don't know that these people, they know what is going on in the country. And when I tell our people here that that is the solution, that they are deliberately not doing it. This is not by accident. They know and they are not doing it. Now, let me play it again.
If you go to some places in Niger, go to some places in Zamfara, not all, I say some places. Go to some places in Kaduna, like you are, bringing the Gwari and the rest, you will still see there are a lot of the things that have been done. So the president has done a lot. He has expanded the military. And mind you, don't forget, it is not accidental, it's deliberate. When he knew when he came on board that I will have to increase the military size, the police, everything, and rest the recruitments. And that is why he increased the physical space, what we're saving from subsidy, the tax reforms and rest. All these things provided excess funding to be able to fund some of this military operation. But the most important thing that I want to tell the relatives, the parents of those victims, is that I am telling you this from first hand, that the president is standing on his feet, monitoring everything that is happening second by second.
Why doesn't the president come out and talk to Nigerians regularly about these things? Why is it that he maintains an almost aloofness about?
So you see that aloofness again came up again. It's not only him. It's not only President Tinubu that has done it. Buhari did the same thing. I really feel bad for Nigerians. What have we done to deserve this? I really feel bad for Nigerians that this is the pitiful leadership we've had in a democracy where leaders, basically their job is talking to the people. That's what democracy is. At least that's what it's supposed to be. But we may even have up to 16 years of leaders that barely speak to their people. That's if Tinubu goes on now to stay in office to 2031, that is since 2015-16 to 2031, we've had leadership that barely speaks to the people. They basically just do whatever they like. They sign whatever they like. Them and their group of lawmakers just do whatever they like, and just the people just have to put up with it. Basically, we just have to put up with it, whatever they do. And then you saw what he said about the military and the police, that they knew they were supposed to expand it, but did they do it? The only reason why they are saying that they expanded it now is because Trump threatened them. That's why they did it, and they did it late last year in November. They didn't intend to do anything. I can assure you they didn't. It's because Trump threatened them before he decided that, you know what, now I have to recruit. Why is it that when Trump threatened you, it's not to go and buy drones anymore? Suddenly you want to recruit. Why? He didn't say, oh, that's the time for me to go and buy drones. No. That's the time for him to recruit. Because if they know if you have more people on the ground, terrorists have less space to operate. They know it, but they refuse to do it. And you heard what he said, that he lied to the people again. He said that is why Tinubu decided to expand his space by removing subsidies. That's not the reason why he did that. The money he has borrowed is more than enough to recruit 200,000 soldiers. The money he has borrowed alone is more than enough to do that. Just recruit those soldiers and just fill all the outskirts of all the towns we have in Nigeria. Anybody that is moving around, you will know. A terrorist cannot step 100 meters without you picking up on the terrorist moving. They cannot operate anywhere for 10 minutes without them being surrounded. And once you achieve that, the only way to achieve that is to have people there. Why do you think Netanyahu of Israel ordered the soldiers to occupy 70% of Gaza? Because he knows the more space they take away, the more ground you take away from the terrorists, the less space the terrorists will have to operate. He wants to choke Hamas. This is somebody that has bombed Hamas for more than 2 years, and Hamas is still standing. And this is to show you how crazy our people are. They will still come out and say this again tomorrow. Let me say this. A terrorist group, Hamas, they are about 30,000 strong, which is, funny enough, is similar to the number people like to say that Boko Haram is, that Boko Haram, or the militants in the north, not necessarily only Boko Haram, almost all of them put together is about 30,000 in the north. So now we have about 30,000 Hamas fighters or militants or terrorists, whichever name you prefer. They are in Gaza. They are not in Sambisa forest that they can escape from side to side everywhere. There's nowhere to escape. They are in Gaza. They are stuck in there. Okay, now, then Israel, they go out and piss Israel off by killing a lot of Israelis. Now Israel wants to take revenge and say, okay, I will deal with Hamas today. Then Israel takes all their planes. Israel has some of the most advanced jet fighters in the world. not just in the Middle East, in the world. Then Israel has a lot of drones. As a matter of fact, some of the top countries buy these tools from Israel. They have high tech. They have surveillance system all over Hamas. Then you also have Western countries also help them. The UK also helped Israel. America also helped Israel. With their aircraft, they're all surveying that territory. A closed territory. Then they bombed Hamas for over 2 years. And Hamas is still standing. So before you folks are in any illusion that this our government is going to be able to solve this problem, the way they are approaching it right now, they will never solve this problem the way they are approaching it. Because how can you bomb a territory that the terrorists cannot escape from for 2 years? And you didn't even get the people they kidnapped back. The people that Hamas kidnapped, they held on to most of them. That is how crazy it is. Like, this is why when that man said they are going to get the people that are kidnapped in Oyo back, I was like, if you are going to get them back, it's because people want to give them to you. Because it's very easy for people that kidnap you, that kidnap somebody to escape. If you don't have a good intelligence service, you don't have a good spread of security, it's very easy for them to escape because they will hear you coming and they'll go the other direction. And Nigeria is big. Nigeria has a lot of bushes. How are you going to find them? I don't know why anybody will come inside Nigeria and say the Nigerian military has the power to go and destroy all the terrorists. Because terrorists have an address for you to go there and catch them. Because the terrorists will stand there for you to come and kill him. Do you know how big the outskirts of Nigeria is, especially when you go to the north? There's a lot of white space that nobody there's nobody there. You walk for 1 hour, you will not see one human being. That's where the terrorists operate. In short, you walk for 3-4 hours, you will not see a human being. And you want to go there and think that you're going to be able to deal with the terrorists. The only way you will deal with them is to take over the area. Just keep people there impermanently. So that when they show up, they will pick up on them and they will drive them away. If they try to fight the soldiers, as they are fighting the soldiers, more is coming to surround them. That will be the end. The moment they see that, even they will know their time is up. So I'm sick of hearing Nigerians say the Nigerian government can deal with terrorists. America can deal with terrorists. No, America cannot deal with terrorists. Not by bombing them. That's not how you deal with terrorists. The only way you deal with terrorists is you take over space from them. So that they cannot operate. The moment they show up, within 5 minutes, you have taken over. How are you going to kidnap 30 people in 5 minutes? Good luck with that one. How are you going to kidnap even 20 people within 5 minutes? And where are you going to run with them to in 5 minutes? You have to deny them space and deny them time to operate. Adam, which one is this monologue? This is just it's a monologue actually. And I like it because that way I don't have to have people have a go at me and all the rest of it. It's more of a news update of what is going on in Africa. And I'm trying to share information about some of the things, that people are not picking up on, that our leaders will tell you, but you'll not pick up on it. Look at when he just admitted that Tinubu always knew he was supposed to increase the size of the military and the police. I've told you people this, and you're not listening. Even in the last campaign, they all said they were going to do it, and they get into office, they don't do it. How many of you hold them accountable for it? None of you bother to hold them accountable for it. You leave them, and tomorrow they'll kidnap somebody in the, or you say behead him. Oh, he starts feeling, oh, sorry. They'll kidnap a general. Oh, sorry. I get upset that, they are recruiting, they are sympathizing with bandits, they are recruiting bandits into the military. That's the kind of talk we like to talk. We don't like to ask for precise solutions. Hold our politicians accountable. Say, funny enough, you see, very interesting that Nigerian people do this. Like, many Nigerians remember when Tinubu said, if he doesn't give us power supply, he should not be re-elected. They remember that. They came for him. But why don't we remember that he said he was going to recruit more? which was actually specific. This promise that he promised, because our mind is not there, and half of us, let's face it, we are so biased that we don't even want him to recruit, because all we think about the military is that either it's going to be Hausa or is going to be people that are beating our people on the streets, and which is true. The military soldiers, sometimes their behavior is very bad. They go and start beating people on the street, which is a very, very bad doctrine. And this is something that came down from the colonial period, whereby the people that they were governing were basically subjects of another people. Not even subjects, below subjects of other people. So you can see that the military, the security force that they created is meant to interact with those people I kind of see them as subhumans or sub-subjects. And that culture seems not to have been completely exercised from our current security force. Even if to an extent it has. To an extent it has. You can see that there is movement, but it needs to be a lot more, because if you don't exercise it, Nigerians are not going to feel at ease with even doing the right thing, like recruiting more security officers to secure the country. Because I've heard them say it, and I've had an old man tell me that why should they recruit more into the military? Because they are just going to recruit only Hausa people into the military. It's like, that is a kind of no-win question. This is where we have found ourselves. We managed to run a country that has so much promise into the ground. We managed to run even ourselves that has so much promise into the ground. Many Nigerians are very aspirational. Many Nigerians are very, very hardworking. Many Nigerians are very ambitious. Many Nigerians are very daring. But all that good traits and attributes goes for nothing if you surrender the most basic instinct and the most basic aspect of survival, which is cherishing your own people, cherishing every life that you have. Be ready to lay down your own for others to do better. Those little things has far more impact than all your individual goodwill, because those things glues people together. And when you glue people together, that is that broom analogy that people say. When you take one broomstick, it breaks, but when they come together, it's unbreakable. That's why when people come together, even if the quality of the people are not very good, but they are stronger. Have you seen brand new brooms that are bought? The brooms are brand new. Every strand clean, nice, well-made brooms. And you see an old one. The old one that is still in a bunch, and the new one, you take one strand out, as beautiful as it is, as neat as it is, as individually strong as it is, if you bend it, that new one with one strand, one stick of broom will break. That old one that is being worn and torn and everything, but as long as the sticks of the broom, the individual strands of the broom are still together, you try to bend it, it will not go anywhere. And that is how societies work. Societies that are together are far stronger than individuals that are very, very strong. Individuals are rubbish. If they are, you can be as brilliant as you want, it's not going to make a difference. The people have to learn how to get on with each other, how to stop this silly bigotry. It's like, it's so, for me, from where I see it, it's so senseless, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Everything you wish for, you are actually destroying it. which is a funny thing. Everything all these people wish for, they are destroying it by being bigoted. They are destroying it. But let's move on to other news. I just thought I should highlight this information. And because you notice that the reporter also asked the question about how Tinubu communicates with the people. But that is our lot. What are we going to do? We are like children without a father, or a nation without a leader. We do have leader, but now and again he comes in and says something. Half of them is rambling and the other half is coherent. It's not like he doesn't have good ideas. Maybe he has good intentions too. But every time I try to read the intentions of President Tinubu, he betrays a sense that he wants to kneecap the Nigerian state. What his government tried to do to Dangote. Until today, for the life of me, I don't know how Dangote managed to get out of it. So Dangote must have some people backing him up to not only his money. I don't know where his power comes from. I don't know. And all these questions, we don't ask them because maybe it's uncomfortable. You know how in life, what is this thing we do in life? You know, I'm here doing live streaming now. Why are we doing it? Do we even ask, what is the purpose of why we are here? I think the reason why sometimes we pretend as if we don't know that we are in a situation whereby we don't even understand it. Because we know if we ask that question, it might blow our mind. It makes us very uneasy. And that is how the way this government governs is. We don't want to ask questions. We don't want to ask Dangote, why is it that you are different? Why is it that you are able to withstand the pressure of this government and come out on the other side? Where is your ordination? Where is it coming from? Because the power of this government tried to sabotage Dangote. They did try. Dangote had to fight for his life here. He all saw it. Or maybe what Dangote did was he relied on Nigerians to bail him out. And maybe that's what he did. Maybe that's what worked. Because anytime they try to do all this, Dangote will come out openly and tell Nigerians what is happening. You say, oh, they are trying to say that my petroleum is not very good or it's not very good quality. Look at it to Nigerians, see. Oh. They're trying to say that our refinery is not open yet. Oh. Look at it. We are already selling jet fuel to Europe. They did everything to sabotage. They even reneged on their promise to provide Dangote crude oil so that the Nigerian share in the refinery will be 20%. So Dangote had to go and look for money somewhere else or look for crude oil somewhere else. They did everything. There was even a fire at the refinery. I don't know what caused that fire, but maybe it's just nothing. So my issue with, with all these things that are going on, especially under this government, I feel like every time he does anything, he tries to show his hand, it's not always very good. Why is it like that? Why don't I discover one day that Tinubu did one thing in secret and it comes out, he was trying to do the right thing by the country. I would really like, if anybody has any example of that, please share it. And I will read it out here. If you have an example of Tinubu doing something that nobody gives him credit for, but he came out openly, secretly, and it turns out that it was very, very good thing that he did. He did something behind the scenes that nobody knows about. Or signed an agreement that is very good for the country that nobody knows about. That nobody else has done. Because every time you see his fingerprint, it's not always very good. Even with Fubara that he kicked out of office, who says that what he did with Fubara was good? Fubara is just as bad as them. I'm not here defending Fubara at all. Fubara, that one that went and destroyed House of Assembly. Are we primitive or what? Why are we like this? Don't worry, Nigerians, don't worry. Someday, salvation will arrive. And that salvation will come with a sword and an olive. One day it will arrive. Maybe in our lifetime, maybe after. And both Nigerians will have to decide what direction that they go, because when salvation is coming, nothing is going to stand in its way. Either you have peace, or a lot of people will have to face the consequences. Because this country, the way it's been run so far, looks like a country that needs a lot of some serious shaking up. For the life of me, this president should be the best president Nigeria has ever had. If I was him, I had Dangote refinery coming on stream, and Nigeria was defending the Naira, and I have the free subsidy removal, If I were him, I would just triangulate and say, let's jailbreak. See, what I'm going to do first, I will make sure Dangote Refinery is protected as a national asset and sponsor him to, and well, that 20% definitely I will keep it for Nigeria because we need the money now, the extra value added manufacturing. Nigeria, see, how can, if Nigeria cannot run a refinery, the best source, the best way to do it is give it to somebody else to run. And the person will run it to you and give you the profit. What is your problem? I will be very happy. Keep the 20. I will make sure we secure the 20%. Then I will make sure the subsidy is removed. Subsidy for the petroleum is removed. The money that is used that is removed from there, I will invest it in securing the country. If I have to build a border fence, recruit as many as I can, and convert our NYSC into some kind of military service, like many nations do, I will do that. And forget it, man. It's easy, and I know Tinubu knows this. People like to think that they are dumb. They are not dumb. They know this. Tinubu is a clever man. Although he does have a mindset too. He does have a colonial mindset, let's face it. But he knows these things. Let me see if I can get one more. You know, there is another information that is coming through. Let's move international. Let's not do domestic in the meantime. I will come back to Tinubu's one, his popularity, and why he is the most hated president in Nigeria in terms of approval. He's the most hated in Nigerian this is since 25 years ago. I don't know whether there is anyone that has been hated more actually, because all the ones that came before now, I think the people hated Abacha too. I'm not sure how much they hate Abacha, but people forget that the northern part of Nigeria didn't hate Abacha that much, although he did something to them too. So, but let's go. You know, Iran. There's this information that is coming through that Iran may have gone nuclear. That they suspect that they may have gone and gotten some weapons that foreign countries like maybe Pakistan, Russia, maybe one other country may have sponsored Iran to get nukes. So let me just play some of the video. Let's see whether I can play some of it. Let's see. I'll get this one out. So bear with me, guys.
Community says, you know, they very well may have one. They may very well more than one, because I think both Ted Postle's made the point, and I think John Mearsheimer made the same point on your show yesterday, right? That if they're going to do it, they better have more than one, because if you got multiples, then that changes Israel's entire calculation.
We told you on Monday that Iran, most likely credible reports that Iran has nukes. So here's one of the guys who reported it. His name is Pepe Escobar, but Pepe, really? He looks like he could use some rest. Am I right? Come on. Come on.
Pepe's been working all night on this story.
So here's what he said today on Judge Napolitano's show about his reporting and how he found this out.
Sure. I asked our Pakistani connection to, can you grill this guy again and again and again? And at the end...
So he's talking to his source, this Pakistani guy. He said, can you grill the guy who's saying that Iran has a nuke? Can you grill him?
We got a definitive answer. Look, if I didn't want you to break the story, I wouldn't never have given it to you. And this is what our sources reveal to us. And this is the bombshell in itself. Pezeshkian to Sharif over the phone directly, he delivered a very well structured 3-step sort of ultimatum that he said to Sharif should be communicated.
So this was the president of Iran telling the Pakistani guy, we have 3 ultimatums to get, if you want us to get rid of our nuclear capability. This is our threat. So here's what they are.
To the White House.
So, sorry, let me just add this. I think some people are looking to join the show. I'm sorry. I think the reason why I'm not letting people in is because I'm not going to be doing, you know, like a panel today, because this is just news update, and I'm going to go. And remember, there's another live stream coming tomorrow evening. I don't want it to for us to discuss this and go long. I'm even surprised it's almost 2 hours already. So my apologies for that. I think maybe that's what I'll be doing whenever I do this. I'll just read the news and discuss some of the events that I picked up during the week that has occurred and share it with the viewers of the channel. And also, I'm also going to be switching over to Just to Niger. So all the people that come to Dr. Damage that want to carry on watching, they can join us on To Niger. Even if it's 2 of you, it's better than nothing. I know that a lot of people, they don't appreciate my ideas. They don't appreciate the way I shout. They don't appreciate. But I don't know why they are angry, because the reasons why I'm upset about these things are things you should care about. But it's all right. People have their own ways of doing things. So I'll change over to Niger, then you can join me there. And then I think I will round it up. I think where I'm going to, yes, it's a new caster. I'm a new caster now, like proper. This is a new type of new casting. So that's what we're going to be doing. Because it's very useful for us to get opinions of people. Maybe that will be this where I'm best at, actually, so that people don't hate me or people don't dislike me or don't feel like I know it all. That way, I will just speak and go. But if people come on, then I start challenging what they say and all that stuff. It comes across, I'm quite abrasive with people like that. Maybe it's not a bad thing. So let's see how it goes. Maybe people will start liking me again. Like thinking it's okay. He's giving us news. It's better than nothing. At least it's not there shouting at people. At least not shouting at people on the panel or trying to humiliate people. So let's see. My opinion gives you a headache. Adama, you need to stop. You really need to stop. What in my opinion gives you a headache? I'm not even talking about wigs or polygamy. What is in my opinion that gives you a headache? This is perfectly reasonable opinion. Our leaders should be communicative to the people. Our leaders should take care of national security. Our leaders should not give away our health information to foreign nations. Our leaders should not give away our tax information to foreign nations. And our leaders should not be sharing cars to their party members when they are asking Nigerians that are being persecuted in foreign countries to pay their way back into the country. One of the most saddening things that I heard about Nigeria, as testified by a foreigner, was when he was coming to the country as a Kenyan. Nigerians put him through a lot of, wahala at the border. But what surprised him was that he saw a Nigerian paying to come back into Nigeria. So this is what we are dealing with. Nigerians have to pay or bribe to return back into their own country. Just like Nigerians have difficulty moving around Africa. How did we manage to be like this? What have we done to our people? Sometimes when we ask, when Dr. Damage asks the question, who did this to us? It's a fair question to ask. How did we manage to screw ourselves up so badly? We can barely move around Africa freely. Barely even move around Nigeria freely. Some people will be saying, you will go back to your country. This Lagos is our own. Some people now, Nigeria has now grown and made some parts of Nigeria better, so they want to claim the benefits for themselves. It's like our nature, at least I guess it's human nature, This is what they do. They occupy their time while they live in the world where they don't understand why they are here and how they are here, and they are all going to go. We are all here. We are all passengers here. We are going to come and we are going to go. And we know not why. None of us I don't know how many people actually sit down and ask themselves why. I don't know how many people are bothered with that question, because that question is too heavy. Why do that? Distract yourself. And this is why we do what we do. We dance. We talk about news, and some people come online and stream, and some people don't want to allow people to come on the panel. This is what we do. Dance this dance. We don't ask ourselves the deep questions about life. Maybe that's something I would like to start delving into a little bit more, because some people have argued that consciousness may be a mistake. That what we are doing right now may have been some evolutionary error. That entities are not supposed to be like this. We are not supposed to have the consciousness. It's a form of aberration of this in reality, because how can you exist in a world you don't know why and how? You have no clue, and yet you have awareness. But that's the game we play. All right, so let me carry on playing this. This is what you get when you you listen to my live streams. I will start bringing some deeper things that none of you people bother to think about, and questions, and a lot of people know it's there, but they don't ask it because they've been trained and taught never to think about it. 2 hours. You know, these 2 hours fly so fast. You know, I don't even notice it. I'm surely a rambler. I can tell you that for sure. I'm a rambler, but I do try to make some sense while I ramble. That said, let me carry on playing this so that because it appears, in short, you guys listen to what is being said here. Let me carry on playing it.
Immediately. Number one, which is something that the Iranians have been insisting on for the past few weeks. No nuclear talks. That's it.
None.
Unless we go to stage number one, end of all wars. Stage number two, we start discussing Strait of Hormuz. Then we have nuclear talks. Point number two, no more prospective nuclear treaty framework. These were the words that our source
meaning nothing like the JCPOA.
Exactly. Not even getting towards a JCPOA, which, considering the circumstances, the best the Trump administration.
Now, the JCPOA was the nuclear deal that Obama struck with Iran, that they would agree to not enrich to nuclear grade for a bomb, and that they would agree to be monitored by the International Atomic Agency. So that's the JPCOA, and now they're saying we're not even going to do that. You're not even going to get that deal that we had because Trump ripped it up. And then they attacked them.
And then Netanyahu made him eat it.
Yeah. Administration can get now is a sort of diluted JCPOA. And the Iranians are saying, no, not even that. Because first you need to go to stage 1 and 2, end of all wars, and then we start discussing Hormuz. Without that, we discuss nothing. And then the number 3, which is at the heart of what we revealed on Monday. And of course, there's a lot of controversy, more than expected everywhere. Pezeshkian said, if American threats persist, we can go for the detonation of a nuclear device on Iranian soil without specifying. Is this a bomb that Iran already has? Is this a bomb that only Iran developed? Is this a bomb that they could count on Russian input to develop? Or it was delivered, ready-made, let's put it this way, by Pakistan or by North Korea?
So what he's saying there is that Iran says, so we're not even going to talk about the nuclear program until you stop doing war on us. And then B, we have to come to a negotiated deal about the Strait of Hormuz. And now he's saying, number 3, we're gonna explode a bomb in Iran to let you know we have it. Right? That's how I'm reading this. Okay, and where did we get it from? Did we make it ourselves? Did we get it from Russia? Who helped us with this? So that's what he's saying.
Nothing. The source did not elaborate on that. He was elaborating on what Pezeshkian actually told Sharif. So this detonation would happen, in the words of Pezeshkian, translated by our source, executed not as an act of war, but as an irreversible sovereign demonstration of capability to control escalation dominance.
So what they're saying is, yeah, we're going to let you know we have this nuclear. By the way, that's how great the war is going. Now Iran has a nuke. So
good job, and we're gonna just get the. I think we're almost out of gas too, so that should hit just as we find out they
So
have a nuke.
we're depleted
Great job.
all of our oil reserves, so gas is about to spike again in price. We're out of it, right? Within the next couple of weeks, so gas prices are going to spike even higher.
I hope I can fill my tank with the sweet words of Dave Rubin.
So they also didn't get regime change.
Oh,
they lost control of the Strait of Hormuz, and now Iran has a nuke.
Oh,
so this has been what you want to know how well the war is going. That's how well it's going,
well as everything else. You're saying, yeah.
And so what Iran is saying. So that Iran was telling this. That's the President Pezeshkian, however you say his name, was telling the negotiator in Pakistan to tell the White House all these things. Tell them that, and. So what they're really revealing here is that even to begin to negotiate with the United States on an even plane, you have to whip out your own nuclear weapons and flop it on the table before a single word can be exchanged, because every time they have an agreement, the United States kills the negotiators or starts bombing their country.
Hey, haven't we not been fucking with North Korea for a while? I can't put my finger on when we stopped, but I think it was around then when they got a nuke.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So that's the success of this war. It's had the exact opposite effect of everything Trump said it was. We have to make sure they don't get a nuclear weapon. They got one. We have to have regime change. They didn't get it. We got to open the strait. The strait's closed, and they're controlling it, and they control 25% of the world's oil.
So Trump did yell at Bibi, and that's not made up, because that sounds like the thing he'd yell about.
Yeah, I don't believe that Trump yelled at Bibi.
I know. He would never go against the master.
Here's more. Now, here's Larry, who was on our show Monday with Garland Nixon, and he's going to tell you even more.
They'll be kept in a where they can't be.
So where are the nuclear bombs that Iran has? Where are they?
They'll be kept in a where they can't be destroyed. I mean, Iran's not. They started building. They built all these underground cities and missile factories in the aftermath of 2003 when we invaded Iraq, and they were hardened specifically.
Jimmy Dore is this thing. I think you are right to say that he's right leaning, but he is also a truth seeker. I don't think in this age now there is barely any right or left anymore, because both sides have corrupted their ideas, at least the traditional ideas that are associated with the right or the left. So you find people like Candace Owen that is supposed to be on the right, criticizing Israel's genocide, or the actions in Gaza. You find people on the left like Bill Maher that is supposed to be on the left supporting it. The left is generally supposed to be known for being anti-war, but somehow a liberal supporting wars while a conservative completely against it. Tucker Carlson is against it. So it tells you that the right and left divide has completely been corrupted. And what people have observed is that all of them are together, just like the Epstein, as they call them, the Epstein class, that they are together playing around with people, and people are fed up with it as it stands right now. That's what is going on. And this is why I'm playing the video, because if he has a report that says potentially that Iran has gone nuclear, clearly most of the other media is not going to cover it. They are going to try to cover it up because that's what they do. As a matter of fact, most of the information people get these days is not from the conventional established media houses. It's from private people and people like us that glimpse information from here, talk to this one, talk to that one. And, all this public information sharing, that's how people glimpse information and even force information out. Like some of the things that Candace Owen is doing, there are people that her fans and people that support her, according to her, I said there are some of them that are willing to join organizations just to get information for her. How crazy is that? They're willing to join organizations just to get information from her. Yeah, it's true. I think Jimmy Dore is quite extreme. I don't know whether you call him left, because he's very, very anti-Israel. and sometimes almost anti-Semite actually. So I don't know whether you call him left-leaning people don't tend to do that. So I think it's more of a unconventional approach. I think he's one of those people you would say you actually call a true red pillar. People that don't care about what other people think. They just call society how it is. Like when it comes to 9/11, he will tell you that clearly that's an inside job, and he will present evidence. They're not saying it without evidence. They are presenting evidence about what they are saying, and so there's an element of unapologetic take on things. Sometimes I feel like they go too far, and they say things that don't have a lot of information, evidence, but they do try to push the boundaries based on evidence, and they don't try to sugarcoat it. They don't try to say, let me not offend this person. No, they just call it what it is. Really, yeah, they are basically truth tellers. Really, their own truth. Let's face it, it's their own truth. What they believe is true. Sometimes they can make mistakes, and I think they are also open to making mistakes. They are not fanatics that just hold on to a position no matter what, even if there's contrary information. So I respect that aspect of them, but sometimes I feel like they go a little bit too far. For me, I don't know for other people how it feels, whether they go too far. But the gist of their conversation is that Iran may have gotten a hold of that thing that makes nations stay away from you, that makes nations not come and bother you anymore. When I say Nigerians should have it, oh my God, Nigerians almost lost their mind. How dare you? We have nuclear. We can't even take care of Boko Haram. You're talking about nukes. No ambition. If people without ambition have no future. It's that simple. So now let me see. I will play one video about the way Nigerians like to Japka that somebody played. You know what? I wanted to play this video actually. This one, I wanted to play the other day. I think this one is for some of all those people that like to think that, like in Brazil, when you tell fellow Nigerians that in Brazil, that the people that are there are not all, just Yoruba. Because when you hear some of these, people on some channels around here that are from Southwest, they just assume that Brazil is basically Yoruba. Anybody that practices any religion that is associated with the Yoruba religion is basically Yoruba. Since when does religion make somebody part of that country? Otherwise, all the Christians in Nigeria are British or Jewish or whatever you call it. It's not necessarily true. And when I tried to express that, they felt like I was being like a kind of jealous or being negative towards the South West or something like that. That's not what I was being. I was being objective. The Nigerian slaves that were taken from the slaves that were taken from Nigeria, or the enslaved, not slaves, they were never slaves, they were forced into that situation. The people that were taken from Nigeria into America and the rest of the Americas, they make up about 10 to 15% of the entire population that went there. So to now jump from there and say, the Brazilian religion and most of those Brazilians are just Yoruba, I don't know where you got that from. The numbers it's impossible. It's impossible to have that number. It doesn't make sense. And then when you try to highlight that to them, say, you're being jealous, this is Yoruba people, they speak Yoruba more than we do. Like, why do you do that? You have to be rational about things. And this is the thing about our people, you go with feelings a lot. And then when somebody tries to tell you the truth, you start assuming that because they don't like you. So because of it, I went on this panel and I wanted to speak to this lady, and let me see if I can play it, because she's a Brazilian and they were coming to Nigeria to attend the Osun festival, and she was talking to this American, and the American gave us the opportunity to speak to her, and I was able to speak to her and ask her some questions about, let me play the video so you guys can see. Let's see if I can get Jimmy Dore off. All right, let's play it.
The dynamic we found ourselves as a result of colonization, but then it is something of pride, and it is something that us, like I said, I can't tell you how much you guys are celebrated, and you guys are.
Have you noticed that's a Nigerian? As you can see, his name is Ola there. he came on a panel and he was speaking to the lady. He barely mentioned Nigeria once. All he cared about was Yoruba part, and he kept saying Yoruba, Yoruba, Yoruba. And the lady herself actually mentioned Nigeria more than he did. So let's carry on.
Rated and gone for Nigeria. So it's something that we ourselves are taking it upon ourselves to make sure that as much as you guys are preserving it on your side of the Atlantic, we must also know and ensure that the source from which it comes from does not dry up. So much love to you. Like I said, I've always said it. I'm going to visit Bahia before I die. Probably even live like a month or two. You know, soak myself in the diasporic retentions that exist.
Count on
Finance and all these other, you know. I mean, I'll follow you on. I don't need to have a YouTube. I'll subscribe. So I'll try to live what really makes us as Yoruba people, or as people of African descent in general. And I think I'll go back to work right now and just continue to listen in the background.
All right, Ola, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. I think we lost him. All right. Go ahead, Niger. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, greetings, Omoba, Diners Emir, and greetings to the special guest, Baya Moremi. I really appreciate you coming in to discuss some of these things. I've just been listening, especially the idea that 5% of Brazilians, that's the increment of people identifying as Black, has increased 5% in Brazil. But there is something I'm a bit curious about in Brazil, because from what I gather, about 14% of the people that went to transatlantic slave trade were from the Nigerian area. And from the results that I've researched in terms of DNA ancestry, it turns out that quite disproportionate amount of the people that are alive today, or the ones that are in the diaspora, seem to be showing markers for coming from Nigeria. 30%, some in the African American population, even a higher, up to 70%. The Nigerian population. So I feel like there's a little bit of a discrepancy there, because you are in Brazil. So I just thought maybe I should ask some of all these questions. The Nigerians and the Africans that are in Brazil, would you say they are mostly Yoruba? Because it appears that from when you hear about Brazil, they talk about Yoruba. You notice the previous speaker came and he hardly mentioned Nigeria. I noticed that you mentioned Nigeria a few times. He didn't. He was only talking about Yoruba. And I'm quite curious about that, because from my point of view, when people are taken to slavery, there is a mishmash that goes on. And I wanted to get an idea of what that mishmash is like in Brazil, because so far, all we seem to hear about is Yoruba part of it. Is it that the only Yorubas that went to Brazil genetically? Thank you.
No. Yeah, so I won't be able to respond like precisely your question, but I will give you the background why I cannot. So when we're talking about why Yoruba, it's more like mentioned or highlighted, because the religion itself that survived the most was the Yoruba religion. So we have the Orishas, which is like a direct link to the Yoruba entities, but we are an amalgamation of African nations. So there in Brazil, the way we praise Oshun, Eshu, Shango, it's not the same way in Nigeria. It's not the pure way that do in Nigeria, because there was a lot of interactions between all the African nations, and not just only inside of Nigeria, but across the coast of Africa. So, and to understand why we don't know and why we can't affirm like either this tribe or that tribe was prevalent, because once a boat would come, all the slavers, they would have like 40 days of recovery. And after this, they would identify like, oh, this is a family, or all these people are from the same tribe, or for example, all these people are from the same group. So they would spread these people. They would put these people exactly where they couldn't speak, they couldn't understand each other together. So it would be like someone from Congo with someone from Nigeria, with someone from Benin, all together to make them weaker and to make them like mentally more fragile. So when we're talking about the slave trade in Brazil, there's distribution of nations. They were not together. They were not to preserve their identity or whatever. It was exactly the opposite, to emulate, to solve their identity. So through that, and then if you think we had more than 300 years of slave trade, we out of slave trade less than 150 years. So all this time, like 400 years, was enough to not make people forget, because like clearly we haven't forget, but to dissolve the sense of identity. So there is even like this discussion in Brazil, like, would you claim yourself a Yoruba, or would you claim yourself an African person? It's very hard for us, because when we do our DNA test, like, it's very rare that you're only gonna have one African country. You're gonna have like a lot of African countries, a lot of European. You can be like dark-skinned Black person, and you're still gonna have European blood in your DNA, because a lot of sexual interactions, they were not conscious. They are not consented in that time. So it is not possible for us to say which predominantly. So, for example, food and religion, we talk about more about Yoruba. But language, we talk more about Kimbundu. So all the African words that we have in our Portuguese, not all obviously, but most of them comes from Kimbundu, which is from Angola, like not part of Angola. So it's not fair to say. Which shows more is the religion. So the religion, I say, that creates this this vision that the Yoruba is the predominant tribe there over Brazil, but but there is no way we're gonna say that like.
Thank you. I really appreciate that answer, because I've been having conversation with my fellow Nigerians, and based on the number of the enslaved that left Nigerian area and the population, to say, because many of them, like the Yorubas now, they try to claim the Brazilians as only theirs. I was like, but that is not realistic to do, because it's just that your religion is very, very, the Yoruba religion is quite organized. You have to admit that it's very, very well put together. So it makes sense that it survives the best. But it doesn't mean genetically those people are Yorubas. You see what I mean? So, but it was an interesting conversation we had then, and they were insisting that those people are Yorubas, that I'm just saying that stuff because they are not Yoruba religion. So that's why I thought I should ask you about it, because but there's also this genetic aspect that I feel is a little bit strange. That the dominance of the Nigerian DNA amongst the people that actually go and test themselves, like in the case of Brazil, 30 to 40% of them show the highest proportion of DNA to be Nigerians. I find that really, really strange.
Yeah,
because we are supposed to be.
So when it comes to DNA tests, again, it's not so the DNA test that we sell on my business, for example, can map 10 regions inside of Africa. So imagine like an entire continent, the most diverse continent, but being divided by 10 regions, it's not possible. It's not okay. So when you claim yourself as a Nigerian, you may not be talking specifically about Nigeria itself, but a region that covers the space where Nigeria was. So there is also this confusion, and plus, so just for us to understand a little bit, the coast of Brazil, most of the workers that they need, like the slavers that they need, it was to work in sugar cane plantains. So then there was a certain physicality that they would prefer the slaver to have to put them in sugarcane plantains. But inside of Brazil, when we had a lot of mining, then there was another physicality that they want to take. So the shortest ones, they would go to the mining towns where they need to be short enough to get inside of the cave and do their work inside there. So it would much more be divided by how physical able you are to fit the type of work that you need to do than the tribe or the country or your lineage. And so it's not fair, it's not okay to say that, oh, Nigerians are the most, but obviously like the food was privileged.
So, yeah, the reason why I highlighted this was because of that conversation that I've had. And I'm glad the lady was here to tell it, because people like, I don't want to even dignify him by mentioning his name. Some of all these tribalistic people, they just insist that the Brazilians that practice some of these religions are Yorubas, but they cannot possibly be. That these people is a mishmash of culture, because if you look at the dance that the Brazilians do, it's like the salsa that is mostly associated with the Central Africans, isn't it? So it's just that the Yoruba religion is well put together compared to other religions. So you can see why it stands out as part of the religions that have been amalgamated together. And sometimes we act as if people from the South didn't even go into the transatlantic this thing. Like it's only the three tribes, Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausas that went to this thing, which is not true. But when you go over there, the people will come together, and some of the traits you see come out of there tend to resemble certain things. Like when it comes to religion, it's Yoruba. When it comes to dance, it's mostly the South, this is Central African one that you see. It doesn't mean that the Yoruba dance is not still part of it, or the Central African aspect, or even the South aspects of the religion in Nigeria didn't make it into any of those things. It's just that some of them stand out more than others. And I don't like when Nigerians start doing this tribalistic thing that seems to be happening in the Southwest, where some of all these, YouTubers in the Southwest, they become so, I don't know, they become a little bit presumptuous. They ignore facts. They just say stuff that is not true. And when I try to correct them, they don't like you. They're like, why are you saying that? You are saying that because you are jealous or something. But the facts are there right in your face. But it's okay. We'll move on from that, because there are other areas I want to cover too, because this is quite a rich topic session. I like it actually, because I don't have to exchange people. I just present information to people just to be unraveling. The last one I will do is that of President Tinubu, in terms of why technically he's the least popular president Nigeria has had for quite a long, I don't know, maybe forever, because I don't know how many Nigerian presidents are that unpopular really. Nigerian presidents, they seem to be getting less and less popular over time. And I don't blame Nigerians, because they are performing worse. The country is it doesn't seem to be getting better. In terms of infrastructure, the country is actually getting better. But compare Nigeria to other countries, maybe if you compare Nigeria to African countries, maybe Nigeria will do relatively okay. But when you compare Nigeria to any other major nation out there, Nigeria is falling behind. Then, if you look into from the point of view of security, it's getting worse. And as a matter of fact, security is one of the worst. And then the healthcare is not even that good. It's getting worse too. So it's not. Why is it that infrastructure is getting better, but healthcare is getting worse? I don't even understand that. But that's something for another day. Let me see if I can go to the next news about the Japka syndrome. This BantuCityDiaries felt like he needed to talk about it, and I feel like I need to highlight him a little bit, and let's see, what that means for us as a people, in terms of, the travels that we do, because his own take is that whether Nigerians are cowards, that they have to run overseas to go and get, to go and live their lives regarding, surviving. So let me play his video so that some of you can watch it.
For celebrating running away from their country. 17 million Nigerians are currently living abroad, with many more hoping to leave. The primary reason many remain in Nigeria is due to visa restrictions.
The United States has increased the cost of visa application for Nigerians.
Leaving Nigeria for other countries has become one of the top career options for Nigerians.
I just want to give God all the glory. I just want to thank God. By tomorrow, I'll be flying out of Nigeria.
Families even sell their property.
That is so sad, Nigeria has it's really so sad.
And inheritance to help their children escape to other countries. This trend has become so widespread that it has a specific term in the Nigerian vernacular. Japka, this word derived from the Yoruba language, which dominates the Nigerian music industry. It means to run, to flee, or escape. Essentially, fleeing Nigeria is now viewed as a viable career choice. In 1960, one Nigerian naira was worth $1.34. By 1970, it was $1.52. And in 1980, it peaked at $1.83, approaching $2 for 1 naira.
Do you notice that increment from $1 to one something, then 150? Not double or not straight to $2. So let's keep going.
However, in 1990, the situation changed dramatically as the exchange rate became $1 to 7.39 naira. By 2000, it has slipped further to 105 naira to $1. In 2000,
that was under Babangida. Babangida's term in office completely, he devalued the naira by more than 2 to 3 folds. Babangida did that.
In 2010, it worsened, reaching 150 naira to $1. By 2020, it had nearly tripled to 380 naira to $1. Most recently, in 2026, it went straight into a coma at 1,370 naira for $1.
So again, that worst record is showing up here again. Like 3 times, more than 3 times over, the naira deteriorated 3 times over. And in a very, very short period of time. The other ones are long period of time. This one, very short period of time, it tripled. But let's carry on. That's Tinubu's record, by the way, in case those that don't understand numbers.
Poverty levels in Nigeria have risen significantly. In 1980, the poverty rate was around 28%. Today, it stands at 63%.
Now, this number is why President Tinubu is unpopular. And all those people that their head, they cannot get, they don't understand numbers. This is it. Let's carry on.
This increase was gradual, yet the people in charge of the country implemented no effective solutions. In 1980, Nigeria had a population of 73 million and faced severe challenges, including inadequate housing, a shortage of medical facilities and doctors, and insufficient electricity supply for its citizens. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse without anyone trying to do anything about it. There has never been a time when Nigeria of the future was better than Nigeria of the past. I want to explain how we have come to experience the pain we face today. The underdevelopment, the destruction, the poverty. Our country has millions of people and numerous leaders, yet none of them has paid attention to the data. Until recently, we lacked reliable data, and even now, we are among the most inaccurate countries in data collection. Since the 80s, we have struggled to provide sufficient water and electricity to our citizens as our systems have deteriorated. Our oil refineries have also collapsed, leaving us unable to refine our crude oil. The situation has resulted from the poor management of our resources by those in power, driving our nation to the brink of disaster, as we now see in 2026. From our road to our institutions, we have witnessed a gradual decline since the 80s, as officials have embezzled funds intended for infrastructure maintenance.
Tinubu recently featured on a list, the list of the most corrupt leaders in the world.
Different ethnic groups in power take turns in looting our wealth, competing to see who can steal the most, depending on which group is in control. Let me clarify what I mean by different ethnic group looting in turn. In Nigeria, we do not view our country as a unified nation. Instead, we prioritize our tribal affiliations. When an ethnic group holds power, its members rush to embezzle as much as possible and invest in their own region. After 4 years, when power shifts to the next ethnic group, they follow suit, taking their turn to loot and redirect investment.
Please like, share, and subscribe. And some of you, please go and subscribe to Niger channel. Just do that. I know you might not, I need the subscribers. Maybe one of these days I'll start promoting my channel a little bit more. I don't promote it much. So please like, share, and subscribe. And after about 15 minutes or so, the show or the live stream will end here, and I will carry on the Niger channel. So if you want to carry on watching, you want to go over there, I'll be sharing the link so that you can be able to join us this over there, and that's where I'll finalize that's the submission that Tinubu is the worst president. To be fair, it's not my statement. That is, I played the video of the man that said it. And then I try to make sense of it and put the information together. You can see that from this video alone, you can see why Nigerians are feeling bad right now. And then I will also share some of the poll data, that indicates, I will basically give you the information that you need for the reason why he's the most disliked president, and it's just what it is. All right, so now I will carry on sharing. The link is there. Go to Niger, subscribe, please. I need their support and to encourage me, because if you support me, I'm more likely to dig deep. I do have scope. I do have scope to share more, do a lot of work for you. If you support, if you don't, it's okay. It's not by force. This is democracy. This is free life. So it means that I'm not offering you value. If I'm not offering value, then don't support me. It's true. It's only fair. You can't support me if you're not offering value. All right. Now I'll carry on playing. 15 minutes or so, we are going to be out. So you may want to be shifting to the other channel. I will share the link to the other channel so that you can be able to join. Let me get that now. All right. So I'll carry on playing the video.
To the area, as no one perceives the country as a shared responsibility, but rather as a bottomless bank account to exploit. As a result, this is the predicament we now find ourselves in. The current generation and the previous one were raised with this mindset, which means nothing can be done unless the mindset changes. But how do you change people who all they think of or all they know is the same thing? Let me share a story about an airline that used to be called Nigerian Airways. It was founded in 1958, but the Nigerians in charge embezzled it to the point of bankruptcy, leading it to collapse in 2003. In 2005, Sir Richard Branson of Virgin Atlantic stepped in to save the company with a win-win investment strategy. The arrangement gave him a 51% stake, with the remaining shares held by Nigerians. The airline then rebranded as Virgin Nigeria. I remember flying with my daughter, who was a toddler at the time, from Lagos to London Gatwick Airport in 2007. Unfortunately, the Nigerian government undermined Virgin Nigeria, just as it had with Nigerian Airways. It subjected Richard Branson's airline to bribery and kickbacks. After a few years of dealing with the corrupt environment, Sir Richard Branson decided he could no longer.
Okay, let me read what Richard Branson said. He said the behavior of the authorities was similar to the way the mafioso behaved in the US in the 1930s. If Virgin Nigeria can be treated in this way, can any company in the world seriously consider investing in Nigeria in the future? Oh my God, that is devastating. That is devastating. What is wrong with our people? What is wrong with these politicians? Are they just hell-bent on ensuring that we suffer? Let me carry on playing.
Continue his business in Nigeria. He stated that he would never again consider investing in Nigeria. The reason I share this story is to highlight that Nigerians have contributed to their own downfall, from uncontrolled birth rate that have led to increased poverty to the over 200 million people who can't even build a 50-meter suspension bridge in 2026. What a joke. Over 140 million Nigerian youth spend much of their time dancing, indulging in Afrobeat, chasing immediate pleasures, gossiping on TikTok, Instagram, and often waiting.
Oh, he's talking about dancing. How about the ones that spend an extra 1.5 months in church compared to Europeans? The people that brought them religion spend 1.5 months less every 2 years in church than Nigerians. That Nigerians put so much time in church that they spend 1.5 months extra every 2 years in church. That is how much we waste precious time. Instead of us to be building our country, we are busy running the place down, believing in things that don't offer us anything back. But let me carry on.
For free handout. In Nigeria, we believe that it is a government job to do everything for us by providing jobs, to building housing, to doing everything. We don't understand the power of the individual in boosting the local economy. We have created a jungle out of our country where anyone who manages to Japka, still remember the term, to escape? So anyone who manages to Japka is celebrated as if they've landed a permanent job of $100,000. Do you know how Nigerians celebrate acquiring citizenship from Western countries like Britain, Germany, the United States, and Canada? Sometimes it's so absurd that it could make anyone else cringe in embarrassment.
It's official, I am now a German citizen. See the latest Deutscher in town.
As someone who frequently travels between the West and Nigeria, I've seen many Nigerians who have settled abroad return to Nigeria proudly holding their Western passport for everyone to see while keeping their Nigerian passport hidden away. I remember one instance involving a man who had just become a US citizen. He was so focused on showcasing the new passport that he stashed his Nigerian passport in his pocket, held the American one in his hand, and carried his luggage, making it difficult for him to manage all three so everyone could see it. I watched as he made a fool of himself. At the check-in counter, the airline staff asked for his Nigerian passport, and he acted as if he'd forgotten about it. For over 20 seconds, I was right behind him, observing the whole situation. The staff member insisted, "Sir, could I please have your passport? I know you're Nigerian. Can I have your Nigerian passport? This one doesn't indicate how you entered the country." It's just unbelievable. I don't want to stray too far off from the topic, but we are responsible for the mess we've created. No country should feel obligated to let us live there. I implore all nations with a sense of human decency to consider banning Nigerians.
Olga, are you seriously asking me this question whether I offer no solution? I already gave you the solution today. I told you if I was the one like Tinubu that was in office, what I would do is protect Dangote refinery so that it carries on with its value-added manufacturing. I would take the money that I got from subsidy removal and use it to recruit security forces. I will convert NYS into a military service like most nations do. I will renege on the this is signing of our health information to this in America and our tax information to France. I will ensure that the power supply it should be made available in Nigeria using mobile power plants that can actually generate about 20 megawatts of electricity and use it to power the cities while the national grid is being fixed. There are so many solutions because remember, power can get to every house in Nigeria. The only problem is they are not pumping it all the time. So all you have to do is get mobile power plants into the various arteries of the cities and power the cities 24/7. As long as you can get gas there, which gas is readily available in Nigeria now. You can get gas there. You can burn the gas while you power the cities, then fix the national grid. You have time to fix the national grid while all our cities are lit 24/7. But there are so many solutions. Like there's so many. And that is only all from my small head. In short, my head is a little bit too big. Let me check. No, it's still small. That's from my small head. If you check others, if you check other other people, you take other people's ideas. The Nigeria is easy to fix. I'm telling you. See, this is not me. I'm telling you, Tinubu knows this. Buhari knew this. So the problem of Nigeria is different from what we are talking about. Somebody's telling you all this stuff, is just saying it. But in reality, the true problem of Nigeria is overcoming the reasons why our leaders refuse to do these things. And at the core of it is our weakness as a state, as identity people. You have to fight those forces that insist that we need to remain like this. Because some people try to fight them and they don't end up well. And many of our leaders don't even bother fighting anymore. They just surrender. You have to change the reasons why our leaders choose not to do the right thing by their people. So I'll move on to the next bits. Let me carry on playing. I think he has given us a lot of reasons to be really embarrassed.
Allowing even the slightest hope for Nigerians only perpetuates the ongoing crisis, as they may focus more on escaping rather than addressing the issues in Nigeria. Over the past 5 years, more than 10,000 Nigerian doctors have Japka, a term you already know what it means, to escape. This trend isn't limited to doctors, engineers, nurses, pilots, lawyers, professors, teachers, IT professionals, and scientists have all Japka'd. Those without skills often resort to fraud or seek to Japka through fraudulent means. Nigeria, with a population of 242 million people, has only 55,000 doctors, and a third of them are not practicing. In contrast, the UK, with only 69 million people, has over 180,000 doctors, while Switzerland, with just 8 million people, boasts over 42,000 practicing doctors, more than Nigeria's entire count. This situation reflects a lack of altruism, love for the country, and any willingness to sacrifice for the greater good. It feels like a relentless cycle of greed. It is time to consider banning Nigerians from immigrating for work. Countries like the US, Canada, and the UK have taken many of Nigeria's best professionals. Instead of encouraging this brain drain, the UK, the US, and Canada, including other Nigerians' top destinations, should motivate talented individuals to stay and contribute to the development of their homeland. What does it really mean to you to abandon your own country, the place where you grew up and shared experiences with friends and family, to acquire foreign citizenship? The nostalgia of childhood and the bonds with fellow countrymen are invaluable. Doesn't that concern you at all? How could anyone walk away from all of that? Most of what I say here applies to Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Uganda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Zimbabwe, Angola, and many other African countries. Around 17 million Nigerians live abroad. If you look at the chart of the top 10 black African countries with the highest numbers of citizens living outside their countries, you see that when averaged and expressed as percentages, Ghana tops Nigeria, with Sudan in second place and Nigeria in third. However, when considering total numbers, Nigeria surpasses all the countries combined. From Monday to Sunday, Nigerians are dancing and partying. Every corner of the country is filled with Afrobeat, a nonsensical music genre without substance. Among Nigerians,
this guy has got some bad mouth, man. He said Afrobeat is nonsensical. No, I don't agree with you like on that one. That's a bit of a low blow, man. Come on, man. That's just bad.
Here is 140 million people, under 35, tens of millions aspire to become Afrobeat stars rather than contribute to Nigeria's betterment. Most Nigerian youth would betray Nigeria in a blink of an eye for just $1,000. African diaspora, black Africans living abroad, remitted over $100 billion last year. According to the chart, Nigerians accounted for over $23 billion of that, which equal to the Nigerian government's entire annual revenue. Ghana follows in a distant second with $7 billion, while Kenya comes in next, and Somalia ranks 10th with $1.2 billion. It can seriously be argued that jackpotting, you know the term by now, jackpot to escape, is a lucrative business given these revenues that they generated from remittances. You might be surprised to learn which country sends the most remittances to Nigeria. No. It is not the USA. Not even close. The UK alone contributes $12 billion, while the US comes in a distant second at $3 billion.
Oh my God. Okay. I think we are going to decide that all these Americans, they are not allowed on the panel anymore. Whenever they come to the panel, they have to bow. They have to bow to the UK Nigerians that are doing so much lifting. This is painful to realize. So all these Americans, they have been posing all this while. With all their money and all their dollars, they are not sending money home. So it's the UK one that are sending all the money home. You see why? You see why all these Americans, I'm not going to start naming names. Tomorrow when they come on the panel, I'm going to challenge all of them. I thought we had more Nigerians in America. I think we actually do have, although it has increased now in the UK, but we actually do have more Nigerians in America, and they don't spend. Geez, man. Wow. That's the number I didn't expect.
Follow closely with 2 billion. These diaspora remittances are expected to reach 35 billion by 2030 in just 4 years for Nigeria. Imagine if Nigerians were unable to Japka, to leave anymore and had to stay in the country. What do you think would happen? Would find ways to make Nigeria livable. It's a natural human instinct to adapt and survive. As long as the option to leave remains open, there will be little incentive to fight for Nigeria. At the moment, many Nigerians seem to lack empathy for their country. If any of them were to become president or governor, there is a good chance they would exploit the position and flaunt their wealth, spending extravagantly on things like designer clothes and private jets. It is disheartening to see people trying to show off their luxury cars like Range Rovers, Lamborghinis and Ferraris on roads that resemble something from 17th century Europe. There seems to be a lack of shame in showcasing brands like Gucci and Louis Vuitton while many live in squalor and poverty just behind the facade. This should be embarrassing, but it doesn't seem to shame them. Yet, I am the crazy one, right? If you think we're wrong, if you think there was anything we missed, please leave them in the hoping to leave.
I'm gonna be moving now. I'm gonna be shifting over to Nigeria now. I think it's just about 15 minutes. Funny enough, 50 people have joined us. To carry on watching, move over. I see that some people are already moving, so the link is in the chat, so you can move over to Nigeria to carry on. I will carry on from there. I'll play some music so that we can use that to have an interlude. Then I will just come summarize the news and talk about a few things. Then we can wish, we can look forward to have your say when everybody can come and discuss the issues arising in Nigeria. And then it's going to be quite interesting because quite a lot of things has happened this week. So don't fail to join us on that live stream. So, and you can move now. Take your time to move. And let me play some of our people's song that will, keep us, remind us of who we are. Sometimes we forget. We are some interesting people. We have some interesting cultures in that country that you can't even start to comprehend. I'm supposed to keep going towards the north, so I just haven't had time to gather because some Taraba state paralyzed me. Taraba is so complicated. That state is so big in Nigeria. It's got so many things in it. I can't even start. Maybe I'll just start doing one tribe at a time in Taraba state because it's just too big. And all right, let me play this song while we transition. And we're probably going to play two of them actually. Let me just play this one.